Okay guys, I'm going to be making some rosemary and garlic roasted potatoes later. So what I'm going to do is leave my potatoes to soak in some seasoned water until I'm ready later to boil them. Okay, so I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon powder in it. And I'm going to put about 1 tablespoon of sea salt in it as well. And I'm just going to stir it and leave this to soak in the seasoned water until it's time for me to boil it. And that way I'm adding extra flavor into the potato by leaving it to soak all these hours. It helps to add a little extra flavor to our potatoes. Or we can say we are infusing the potatoes with some extra flavor. So I'm gonna turn on my fire now and boil my potatoes before roasting it. So my fire is on and we're gonna boil these potatoes. I'm out in my garden and we're gonna be picking some rosemary in order to use in our garlic and rosemary roast potatoes. I think this should be good. So let's prepare our rosemary for our roast. So I'm just going to shred the leaves off and then we're going to chop it up fine. Okay. All right, let's gather this together. All right, so we have our rosemary prepared, all minced. So we're just gonna add it to our bowl here. And what I'm gonna do is put some garlic to this. I have some garlic paste here. I'm gonna add it to our minced rosemary. Okay, so we're gonna add some of the garlic. Good. Now what I'm going to do now, let me get another spoon because I'm going to be adding, instead of, now you can add oil to this at this point in time. You can add like coconut oil or avocado oil. But what I'm going to do to roast my potatoes is I'm going to use ghee. Okay, so ghee is clarified butter. So let me just add my ghee to this now. Of course, when I add this to the heat of the roasting pan, it's going to melt my ghee. So I'm just going to mix everything together. What I will also add to this is a herbal seasoning blend. I'll actually add the Mrs. Dash garlic and herb seasoning blend to this. And I'll also add a pinch of salt to this as well. All right, so let's add a little bit of this Mrs. Dash seasoning blend. Let's add a pinch of salt. There you go. Mix everything together. And so now we have our dressing, so to speak, for our potatoes. Okay guys, so here I have my roasting pan. What I'm going to do is put this into the oven now so that it heats up the pan. And then when I take it out, I will add the ghee to the hot pan. And the ghee obviously will melt right away. And then I'm going to add my drained potatoes to it. So let's put this into it. Okay guys, so as you can see, our potatoes have been boiling. So I'm going to drain it now. This is hot. By the way, I have my oven preheating at 230 degrees Celsius. So now we're going to add our ghee to this pan. This should be good because remember the sauce that we made for the rosemary and garlic has ghee as well. So I think this should be good. But we're not adding that sauce yet. We're going to roast the potatoes at this point in time. Did you hear that slight sizzle? All right, so let's make sure that each potato is making contact with a flat surface so it could roast up nicely. Okay, let's turn this one over this way. There you go. Okay, good. All right, so we're going to put this into the oven to roast. I will leave it to roast for about 40 minutes first and see how it looks at that point in time. Okay guys, so I took this out of the oven. I'm just going to kind of stir it. I left it in for about 40 minutes. All I'm going to do now is put in the little dressing that we made with the ghee, rosemary and garlic. So let's add that to it now. And then we're going to stir it again. And then we're going to add it back into the oven. Okay? Right, might as well use it up. Let's just use all of it. All right, so let's put this back into the oven in order to roast, okay? First of all, we're gonna give it a good stir. Now at this point, I will sprinkle a little bit of salt on top of it. And then we'll put it back in the oven. Oh, I have to wipe up there. We'll put it back in the oven to continue roasting. So I'm going to use a little bit of gray sea salt, to sprinkle on the top of this. Let's flip this one over. Okay, I'm going to try to flip the sides I didn't get the color so that it gets now to roast on the other side, right? See, is this side? No, okay. All right, so let me just get a little bit of the sea salt and sprinkle on top of this. All right. We're going to put this back into the oven. Okay, guys, so our garlic and rosemary roast potato is now finished. So